40 years ago, Petaluma Blacks for Community Development was organized to share Black history and culture with the community of Petaluma. This video, through interviews with members of the group and pictures, will tell our story and what we have done to recognize and bring to the attention of others the central role of African Americans in U.S. history.
Hello, my name is Gloria Robinson. I'm the founder of Petaluma Blacks for Community Development. I came to California in '61 and I lived in San Francisco. My ex-husband was working, he finally got a job in Marin, so that's why we moved to Marin. And then from Marin to Petaluma. And that was the reason we moved to Petaluma, because we could afford Petaluma and not Marin County. My oldest son, he was the only one that was going to school at the time when we lived in Marin, and the other kids were going to, they were put in Head Start program. When the Head Start first started, my children got a chance to go to the Head Start program. So when we came to Petaluma, they had a complete different attitude about their skin tone and being, in a different community, because when we moved, our neighbors was very nice to us, and it was a lot of children in my neighborhood, so my kids was very comfortable with who they were. I didn't realize that they did have, that my oldest son had problems in Marin at school. He was told, go home, little black boy, paint yourself white and come back to school.
The struggle for African American dignity and rights continues to this day. I moved to Petaluma with my family in 1975. At that time, it was my husband, Warren, and our son, Glenn. We moved to the east side of town, and to my surprise, we actually had Black neighbors. We had a couple on the right of us, one house away, Joanne and James Gleaves. We had the Davises right down on the left from us, and another couple, the Smiths, around the corner. I really didn't expect that to happen, that we would move into a community that had that many Black people. Our experience here has been one of a lot of good things and some of the things that are not so good. I remember when my son Glenn started school, I knew that he was the largest child in his classroom. And I think that presented some questions for some of the people in the class, because they weren't used to seeing Black people. In fact, the neighbors in our community were really surprised to see that many Blacks that had moved into their neighborhood, and so they weren't used to seeing the children and stuff, or even playing with the children. In fact, one of the girls that was Glenn's age came up to me and she said to me, "Why does Glenn look different?" And so I took her aside and I said, "What do you mean by different?" She said, "Well, his color is different." I said, "Yeah, but look at his mom and dad. His mom and dad's color is different, and that's the reason he's the color that he is." And I asked her, I said, "Does it make any difference to you?" And she said, "No." I said, "Does he act different?" She said, "No." And I said, "Well, the only difference is actually the color of his skin. So if that doesn't make a difference to you, then there is no difference." And she said, "Oh, okay." And she ran off and started playing.
And we came into South Petaluma in 1969. And we went into the realtors, and it was just like they just didn't know what to do with us. And the realtor said, "Well, we'll find you a home." And I said, "Well, we need a home to put our furniture in." And the first place he showed us, I didn't realize, being African American or Black, whatever, that they just didn't know what to do with us. So there was some places, and I won't name the streets, but they took us into homes that evidently the people had left with just deserted. There was old diapers, baby cribs, all just horrible property. And so went back, since we were Air Force, we could be sitting in the guest house at Hamilton Air Force Base. So that's where we were with our 2 kids, the 4 of us. And then we head back up. They called and said, well, come on up. We've got another home. And so then the home that we're in now is the home that we moved in October 1969.
So I think with my children being involved in school and stuff, that's what got me turning into an activist. If they were at school, I would be at school. I joined the PTA, I did Little League, I did CYO, basketball, everything my kids were involved in, I was involved in. The reason being, it wasn't that many people of color there, and I wanted the families within the community to know that, hey, I'm just as concerned about my children as you are about yours. So I was very active. That's what made me become a community activist. I tell everybody that. I said, my children is the reason I'm out here doing what I'm doing.
It was important for me to be able to share Black history and culture with other people because I didn't feel like they really understood that we were not different from them, but we were more like them in some ways. Their experience mostly was television, what they saw on television or what they saw in the movies, and that projection was not necessarily correct for all of us. Plus our history. Our history is really rich with all of the things that we've done and the inventions that our people have made. These are things that are not recorded in the history books for people. And so I really felt that we needed to be able to dig into that and share it with our community. And that's what Petaluma Blacks for Community Development has done. When I met Gloria, she shared her passion for creating this group of Black people that would not only share our history and culture, but we would become a community within a community, people that we could lean on each other and have that kind of experience, and also become a part of the rest of the community. So sharing our history and our culture was really, important, and really digging into it and being able to share the things that we've done as a race.